Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain, where I am just about to need a refill on my coffee. It has just been that kind of day where the coffee just needs to keep on flowing, as does the rain outside that looks like it's going to rain, but it also looks like it might clear up. So, we've had a good weekend of rain. I suppose it should dry out because I have so many mushrooms outside of my apartment complex. My dogs don't care, but I think they're fun. Just little mushroom guys, little fun guy. It's great. But anyway, so with all of that being said, and talking about rain and coffee and the fun stuff, I'm still Rachel, and I'm here to talk about books. And today's book is The City in Glass by Nghi. Now, I first ran across Nghi when I had gotten an advanced reader copy of one of their, I think it was a novella by them just recently, and it was so incredibly good that I'm blanking on what it was called. So I'm going and I'm looking for it because I wanted to go back and read the whole thing. The Brides of High Hill. It is the Singing Hills cycle number 5. And I read it and I really liked it. And the thing is like I felt like I could read it without reading the rest of the cycle. However, I am 100% going back to read the whole cycle because I think it's going to make much more clear sense if I read the whole thing. But I really enjoyed it, which is one of the reasons that this book kind of came across my radar and why I was so interested in reading The City in Glass is because this author has this beautiful way of writing that is, there is a lot of emotion, but there's a lot of, I don't want to call it darkness. There's just maybe some power behind it, but in the city in glass, and I don't want to say the city of glass because that's Cassandra Clare. This is the city in glass, and again by Nghi. This book comes out October, let's make sure, 1st. Now it is not super big and it can go very quickly. I believe the audiobook was about 7 to 7.5 hours long. It's about 220 pages, so it is a standalone and according to Goodreads, it introduces a beguiling fantasy city in the tradition, if words work today, of Cavino, Mieville, and Le Guin. And Mieville and Le Guin are two of some of my most favorite classic writers. I say classic writers as in people that I've had on my shelf 20 plus years. Now that does not to say that you consider them classic writers, but for me, if they have literally sat on my bookshelf for 20 plus years, then that's a classic. That means I haven't gotten rid of it. That means I probably recommended it to other people, and I have moved with it 8 to 9 plus times. That means I think it's worth it. And so let me give you a little bit of the summary, and we will dive into my review because it's a 5-star review, just by the way. A demon, an angel, a city that burns at the heart of the world. The demon Vitrine, immortal, powerful, and capricious, loves the dazzling city of Azrael. She has mothered, married, and maddened the city and its people for generations, and built it into a place of joy and desire, revelry, and riot. And then the angels come along and the city falls. Vitrine is left with nothing but memories and a book containing the names of those she lost, and an angel, now bound by her mad, grief-stricken curse to haunt the city he burned. She mourns her dead and rages against the angel she longs to destroy. Made to be each other's devastation, angel and demon are destined for eternal battle. Instead, they find themselves locked in devouring fascination that will change them both forever. Together, they unearth the past of the lost city and begin to shape its future. But then, war threatens Azrael and everything they have built. Vitrine and her angel must decide whether they will let the city fall again. So, We're going to go ahead and stop it there. It does say it is still considered a novella, at least in a genre that it's included for Goodreads. However, I think it is pretty close. Like 225 pages in a book could be considered a novel. I think so. I think so. Fantasy, there is some romance, but it would be a super slow burn romance. It is really, I mean, you've got the angel and the demon, so you've got these two forces that are definitely clashing the entire time. So I guess there is a bit of sexual tension, to say the least, but it's more of her rage and him trying to satiate that rage in whatever way he can, because he knows, like, he's not sorry for what he did or he and the other angels did, but now she's the one who kind of wreaks her vengeance on him, so he just kind of takes it. um, it does have a much more of adult theme than I would say. It's not really YA. But I think it could kind of sit on that fence. I will go ahead and say I probably could see it on both sides of the fence. I really probably could. But like I said, it is probably a bit more mature in content if you were to really think about it too hard. And there is a little bit of science fiction as well aspect to it, but I think that's really more of the, what I think of as the angel and demon sort of aspect of it. There's no space exploration. There's no anything like that. There's no advanced technology that I've been able to see or read. It's really more about the civilization getting burned down and then having to like rebuild. And the Trine is pretty much trying to do it herself. The angel himself, he's not, he just thinks they need to like let a river run across where the city used to be for a millennia or two to wipe it completely clean and then start over. Well, Vitrine doesn't really want to do that because she had been watching over these people. She, being the demon, Vitrine, had been watching over these people for like centuries at least, and they were pretty much what she called her people. She knew them all by name. She had walked among them. They knew her, but they didn't maybe know her full nature. They did know, they would see her in different aspects. Like there is one particular person who she kind of references that he saw her like a lamplighter in some cases, or he saw her as like a noblewoman in some cases as well. So there's like, she's able to convince them that whatever she is how she wants to be seen, or she doesn't have to reveal her nature. And it's kind of cool because they probably wouldn't be super pleased that, like, I mean, she's their local demon, but she's also kind of their benefactor as well, because she really is invested in them. Now, there is one particular painter, and she pays him quite handsomely, like years worth of salary, to paint her, or to first draw her city. And she wants all the aspects of the city he can think of, from the people in the streets, the buildings, to sleeping in bed, to dancing, to all of these different aspects. And then so once he's got this portfolio of these images, she then wants him to create like paintings. And so then he spends the next pretty much rest of his lifetime trying to create these until he falls very ill. And she's kind of sad, but again, she's a demon, and I think she's like, okay, well, you've served your purpose. And I don't know, like, I think there was a sense of like, because then she finds out that he left something else for her, and when she finds out what that something else is, I think she's kind of touched by what it is. And again, I'm not going to reveal it. This book comes out October 1st. So it'll, like, by the time this episode releases, it's going to be, like, brand new. But I want you guys to go out and find it, because I think this book is really beautifully written. The way Nevo is able to convey just the loss and the heartache and the anger and the grief and the frustration within her words is just really incredibly well done. Um, so I will be definitely looking into more of this particular writer's works. I do not know how she's able to. I think some people just have this way of being beautiful with their words, and some people are able to be clever with their words and witty and sassy and funny, and we need all of those types of writers. And I am so glad that this one came across for me to be able to read and to share with you all. Um, because as soon as I saw the cover come across, I mean, it's gorgeously done. And at first, I did think it was another one of maybe one of her cycles that she has written, and I thought maybe it was another one of the ones for the Brides of High Hill like cycle. But when I kind of clicked on it to see like where it may fit, it was kind of a standalone, and I was like, oh yes, please, like I would love to find out more about an angel and a demon, like having this eternal battle going through this like decade or millennia, because at some points the angel wants to bring in some new people to give a home to, and the demon charges him a price, charges them a price, I guess you could say, because I think angels are probably I think they're hermaphroditic. I don't know how to say that word right, but they're neither male nor female in what I'm to understand an angel's um, description is supposed to be. But they are they're charged a price by the demon to allow these new people onto land that she has claimed is hers. And she's been there for years. She also has sibling demons that sometimes come into her area that she will ask to do various things for her. Sometimes it's wreck ships, sometimes, because each of the different demons have different abilities. And so you kind of learn that along the way as well. It's just very cool, very clever. This book, very fast. It went so incredibly fast. So if you're able to pick up a physical copy, I think you can fly by it in a single day. I think if you audiobook it, yeah, give it 2 days, because honestly, like I said, it's 7.5 hours, and you may just binge listen to it, because I thought it was just that good. And I did binge listen to it. I drove up to Nashville yesterday and back, and that was 4 hours round trip, and I finished it on that drive. Like, I had already started it beforehand, but I had finished it during that trip as I was driving. So definitely gave me a chance to be able to just consume this book while cruising down the road and just listening to this eternal battle, which was so good. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. As of my recording of the one for We Kept Her in the Cellar, I have not yet, because this isn't the same recording day, I've not yet done the Barnes & Noble gift card. But of course, this episode is getting recorded like 10 minutes after that episode. So again, that may not get revealed for maybe like a week's worth of episode, because again, I do batch record my episodes, so you'll see me wearing this shirt for a couple of episodes, because I have read quite a few, and then I have them in my brain that I need to dump out for you, and then I start filling up my brain again so that I can do a brain dump again as I do. But hopefully by next weekend, I am really crossing fingers, by the middle of October, that whoever wins the Barnes & Noble gift card, again, there was no entry fee. There is nothing that you had to purchase. If you just clicked subscribe, that put you in the running. That was it. And I fully appreciate it, which is why I wanted to give my subscribers a little bit of something. And I think I'm going to do the same thing when I reach 200. I may not do it again for every 100, but if my channel continues to grow still, it will give me more ability to maybe do more in the future. Because I'm a little channel. All this comes just out of my pocket because I do have a day job, but it's it's not a bad day job. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Please like and subscribe, especially if you wanted to get into the running for the next Barnes & Noble gift card. And I will see you on the next page.